Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're tackling something absolutely massive, transformative, and honestly incredibly exciting. We are mapping out the journey of going from 30% body fat down to a lean, visible six-pack at 10%. Now, I know it sounds pretty daunting, right? But I promise you, it is entirely possible. The thing is, you just can't guess your way there. We are going to build a rock-solid behavioral blueprint today that gets you lean and, more importantly, keeps you lean. But let's kick things off with a pretty harsh reality check. Why do 85 to 90% of people who lose weight ultimately just gain it right back? If you've struggled with weight loss in the past, you really need to hear this. You are absolutely not alone. And it is definitely not because you're broken or lazy.
So the crucial point is this. That staggering failure rate, it's actually a behavioral failure that's been completely engineered by our modern environment. It is not a lack of your willpower. Traditional advice that just yells, eat less, move more, completely ignores the behavioral psychology of eating. It completely ignores why we overeat in the very first place.
To demystify all of this physical transformation stuff, here's the straightforward roadmap we'll be using today. 1. The hidden danger of visceral fat. 2. The processed food sabotage. 3. The protein priority rule. 4. Build muscle, burn fat. And finally, 5. Skip cardio, walk instead. All right, let's jump right into part 1, the hidden danger, visceral fat. So before we even talk about how to lose fat, we've got to redefine what we're actually losing here. See, we have outer fat, right? That's a soft layer right under your skin. And honestly, this is primarily just an aesthetic issue. But then we have visceral fat. This stuff sits deep underneath the muscle, tightly surrounding your vital organs. If you've ever seen someone with a big, prominent belly that actually feels hard and solid to the touch, yeah, that is a prime indicator of dangerous visceral fat. It drives insulin resistance and wreaks absolute metabolic havoc on your body. Reducing this isn't just about looking great at the beach. It is absolutely vital for your metabolic health and, quite frankly, your survival.
So how on earth do we combat that dangerous visceral fat? Well, you do it by building muscle. You see, muscle isn't just for show. It acts as this massive glycogen storage vessel. Think of it like a biological reservoir created by strength training that literally stores circulating blood sugar. When you build this vessel up, your blood sugar finally has a place to go, which drastically improves your insulin sensitivity. It's arguably the most effective biological trick we have to keep visceral fat at bay.
Okay, let's dive into this next part. Section 2, the processed food sabotage.
We really need to explore why telling someone to just eat less is terrible, terrible advice. Just consider this analogy for a second. Could you sit down and eat 5 plain, boiled potatoes? No way, you'd be gagging by potato number 3. But could you easily crush a whole family-sized bag of potato chips? Absolutely. Heavily processed foods are literally engineered in laboratories to bypass our natural satiety signals. They're designed to be hyperpalatable, which means your brain never gets that natural biological signal to stop chewing. And you know what? The data completely validates this. 500 to 600 in strictly controlled lab studies, where scientists literally lock people in a room and meticulously track every single bite. Participants unconsciously consume exactly 500 to 600 extra calories per day when they're given heavily processed foods compared to whole, natural foods. And that is even when the macronutrient profiles are perfectly matched. Your body just flat out doesn't register that it's full.
So, this brings us to the ultimate behavioral hack, the whole food shift. Shifting entirely to whole foods avoids all that hyperpalatable engineering. It naturally triggers your internal fullness cues. By simply dodging those extra 500 calories a day, you effortlessly wipe out a massive 3,500 weekly calories surplus. This single behavior change completely removes the agonizing need for strict, maddening calorie counting. It allows you to drop serious body fat without ever feeling starved. Moving right along, let's hit section 3, the protein priority rule. All right, here is your core non-negotiable metric, 1 gram. You must aim to consume 1 gram of protein per pound of your target body weight every single day. Let me emphasize that word really quickly. Target body weight. So if your goal is to be a lean 180 pounds, you eat 180 grams of protein every day. Let's walk through the ultimate daily habit sequence to naturally hack your satiety at every single meal. Step 1, eat your high-protein whole foods first. Sit down and eat the chicken, the fish, or the turkey before you touch anything else on the plate. Step 2, eat your carbohydrates last. And Step 3, enjoy stabilized blood sugar and totally eliminated cravings. Protein absolutely crushes your appetite. If you eat a huge portion of protein right out of the gate, the odds of you overeating the rest of your meal completely plummet. And this brilliantly illustrates a really common trap you need to avoid: whole food protein versus protein shakes. Whole foods, like chicken thighs, lean fish, and ground turkey, deliver incredibly high satiety. They fill you up. Protein shakes, on the other hand, well, they're heavily processed liquid calories with very low satiety. Now, don't get me wrong here. Shakes are great if you're actively trying to gain weight, or if you're in a late-night macronutrient pinch and just need to hit your goal for the day. But whole natural foods are vastly superior when your primary goal is to strip off body fat without feeling hungry all the time. All right, section 4, build muscle, burn fat. Time to reframe those workouts. Now, you might think you need to sweat absolute puddles to lose fat, right? But let's compare two different styles of training. With traditional strength training, your goal is to build muscle. You actually rest for 2 to 3 minutes between sets, and the incredible result is a permanently sped up resting metabolism. Conversely, if you look at circuit training, the goal is really just to burn calories. You take minimal rest, but your body quickly adapts to it, making it way less effective over time. Your gym time should strictly focus on building a bigger metabolic engine, not just frantically burning off yesterday's fuel.
To actually build that engine, you must apply progressive overload. Think of this as the mathematical formula for physical progression. It's calculated as your sets multiplied by your reps multiplied by the weight lifted. My biggest piece of advice here is to hold the line. Maintain your volume every single week until you hit a day where you're feeling incredibly rested and the bar just moves surprisingly fast. That is your body literally begging you to lift more.
And that brings us to our final part. Section 5, skip cardio, walk instead. Okay, here is a bit of a controversial truth for you. Endless cardio burns temporary calories, but it completely fails to build the metabolism-boosting muscle required to stay lean permanently. Furthermore, doing massive amounts of cardio can actually send a catabolic signal to your body that strips away your hard-earned muscle. Unless you are already incredibly lean and trying to drop into extreme single-digit body fat for some kind of stage competition, traditional cardio is a highly inefficient and sometimes even counterproductive tool for this journey. Let's move to and see how this builds a much better, healthier alternative: the post-meal walking habit. Simply pair a short walk with a daily meal. Start small. We're talking just 5 minutes after breakfast or dinner. Once you've anchored that habit, push it to 10 minutes, which is an amazing intermediate goal to really aid your digestion. Your ultimate sustainable goal is 20 minutes post-meal. This creates a completely effortless, non-catabolic calorie burn that you can genuinely sustain for the rest of your life. So look, we've covered the hidden metabolic dangers, the processed food traps, and exactly how to train and eat. But this blueprint, it only works if you actually take action. So I'm leaving you with a challenge today. What is one whole food change you can make to your very next meal? Think about it. Make that change today. Start building your behavioral blueprint and just watch how your body transforms. Thank you so much for joining me on this